Just when I thought people's IQ couldn't sink any lower, the Counterfeit News Network comes up with this right here. The title of this video is Undocumented Mechanic Says He Won't Regret His Support for Trump Even If He's Deported. And then CNN doesn't do him any favors by showing his face, telling his name, and showing where he works so that when Donald Trump takes the oath of office in January, they know where to find him. Listen to this.
President-elect Trump made official what CNN has been reporting for several days, namely that Stephen Miller will join Tom Homan in taking the lead on the issue in the new administration on the mass deportations, fulfilling an oft-mentioned campaign promise. Rosa Flores has more now on what this could mean for Hispanic families facing deportation, even those who supported the president-elect.
How many of you are U.S. citizens? How many of you support Donald Trump? You're undocumented and you support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump for the economy.
Two Hispanic families.
The economy. Like, come on, man. Donald Trump, in his first 4 years, got with the Federal Reserve and they diluted the money supply to the tune of not $8.4 trillion, but $12.4, because $4 trillion came off the top of the $6.2 trillion CARES Act and went on to the national debt that nobody seems to want to talk about. And that caused major inflation that we're dealing with even to this day. Yeah, Biden also played his part and he exacerbated it, and he also added his share to the national debt, but nobody beats Donald Trump as far as diluting the money supply and instituting with the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department quantitative easing, which wrecks and ruins the economy. Politicians don't help improve the economy. They make it worse. I don't care if it's Republican. I don't care if it's Democrat. The president doesn't control the economy anyway. They don't control monetary and economic policy. Who does? The Federal Reserve, working hand in hand with the Treasury. There is a grave misunderstanding and a deep ignorance here. And fake stream, CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra Media exacerbates it.
With mixed legal status in Houston, with two different takes on President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House. This is the Espinosa's first gathering since Trump's win. How many of you fear that deportation could impact your family? Cesar Espinosa, a husband and father, was a DACA recipient until this summer when he got a green card. His sister and brother-in-law are DACA recipients. His sister-in-law is a green card holder, and the rest of his family here are U.S. citizens. Some who are not present are undocumented. You're a green card holder. Your wife is a U.S. citizen. Why are you afraid of deportation?
I just became a green card holder after 33 years of being in this country. I don't think people understand the fear. It's a constant shadow hanging over our heads.
What was your reaction to Donald Trump winning?
I cried a lot. It was emotional. Have my family, like, if they're gonna be here or they're not gonna be here, and how do you tell all of our kids? Like, my nephews, they're also our kids.
To tell people
on the human, non-political level, I totally understand this. It would be a crazy, stressful thing to realize, hey, the government could knock at my door any moment and cart us away back to Mexico. And I think it should be taken on a case-by-case basis. If they haven't committed a crime, if they've assimilated peacefully in society, they're adding to positively to society, all that should be taken into account before you take somebody and shove them into a cattle car and take them back across the Mexican border. But, this idea of legal and illegal citizen, first of all, are you a citizen or are you a human being? Because a citizen is actually a subject. Are you subject to anybody else? Does anybody else have the right to rule you and control and own your property but you? Do they own you? If not, then you're not a citizen. You're not a subject. Nobody's over you. You're not over somebody else. You're on equal plane with all the other human beings. As long as you're not harming, threatening to harm, damaging somebody's stuff, stealing people's property, then you're not a criminal and you fit right in with society no matter what. But Brian, we have rules. Don't you understand the rules? Yeah, there's a lot of rules. There's a rule called civil asset forfeiture. There's red flag gun confiscation laws. Just because it's a rule, just because it's a law doesn't make it right. Legality doesn't equal morality, just like illegality doesn't necessarily equal immorality. We have to start thinking, guys. Politics tends to numb our brains and keeps us from thinking critically.
Well, it doesn't live in kids and children's mind and teenagers and young adults' life is a lie.
Gelasio Velasquez is an undocumented mechanic who has worked in Houston for 25 years.
Oh, he's a mechanic in Houston, you say, says the DOJ.
Oh.
CNN.
He plays in this park with his 2 U.S. citizen children.
Oh, this park right here, this park that the ICE agents can frequent and make sure if this guy shows up, they can take him and his family back. Is this the one you're talking about, CNN?
Just 5 and 9, and stands by Donald Trump.
Oh, look, we can look on Google Maps and find out exactly what this park is and just kind of stake it out. And then when he shows up, we'll nab him.
So you support Donald Trump because of the economy,
For the economy, yes.
but you don't support the anti-immigrant rhetoric.
I'm not support the anti-immigrant action.
Do you support his mass deportations?
No, it's not human.
Are you afraid that you could be deported in this mass deportation?
I'm not afraid.
Espinosa runs a migrant advocacy group and says many people are afraid and have called him in tears.
I think there's a heightened sense of fear.
Explain why Latino men are going to Trump.
Democrats forget the promise when these guys are in the office in the Washington. The Latinos want a better nation.
Espinosa believes some of the Latino support for Trump.
The Democrats are like, how stupid. The Republicans are going, well, you're undocumented, you're illegal, you got to go back. And then sane people are like, wait, can't we just take this case by case? Like, yeah, if they're committed, if they're causing problems, they definitely need to go back. They need to go to jail first if they're causing crimes and causing problems and threatening people and harming people and jeopardizing their lives. Otherwise, look into their backgrounds if that's what you're going to do.
Trump was a vote against the prospect of the first black female president.
There's still a lot of machismo. There's still a lot of misogyny. And something that we need to say aloud is there's a lot of anti-blackness.
Velasquez
Oh, thanks, CNN. CNN didn't put him up to saying that, did they?
says he hopes Trump finds compassion for immigrant fathers like him who are not criminals. If you get deported, would you regret your support to Donald Trump?
No me arrepentiría.
He's saying that he wouldn't regret supporting Donald Trump. So you're really not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your children and the future of your children.
Yes, I want the better for my children.
That doesn't make any sense. If you get deported, then you and probably your children will likely get carted off to Mexico, which is a worse place than being in, much worse place than being in America. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of chickens voting for their Lord and Savior, Colonel Sanders. We got to vote for, make KFC great again. This absolutely makes no logical sense at all.
Cesar says he feels guilty for bringing so much uncertainty to his family. What's it like for you to see your wife go through this and the emotions that she's going through?
I apologize to her a lot. We fell in love right away, and we got married almost right away, because when you know, you know.
We asked Velasquez and Espinosa the same final question. Do you have a plan in case you get deported?
I respect that decision. I leave the country. I'm not coming back.
There is a plan. We've talked about it openly with our family.
Turns out these two Hispanic families with two different takes on Trump's win have the same plan if they get deported. They would go to Mexico as a family.
There's just no knowledge going on here. No critical thinking. It's just a frickin' nightmare mess. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. You know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. Also visit me over at High Impact Flix on X, High Impact Flix on Facebook, and I will see you in the next video.